I once had a roommate. Let's call him Dylan. Dylan looked like a normal guy, sounded like a normal guy, but living with him was like being stuck in a never-ending psychological test designed by a sleep-deprived game developer. At first, it was little things. Things you ignore. Things you chalk up to just learning to live with someone new, like how he couldn't or wouldn't empty the dishwasher properly. And when I say improperly, I don't mean he forgot to do it. No, he would open the dishwasher, pull the clean plates and forks out, and just dump everything onto the counter. Not even in stacks, not even sorted. Just an avalanche of cutlery, glass, and ceramics sitting on top of the machine. When the cupboard was literally 2 feet above it, when we asked him why, just shrugged and said, "I don't want to be your maid." That was the beginning. It wasn't just the dishwasher. He'd nagged the rest of us about being messy, calling us lazy, unmotivated, and selfish, while his girlfriend, Lena, left greasy pots soaking in the sink for days. But did Dylan ever say a word to her? Of course not. In fact, he defended her. She's tired after work. Can't expect her to clean up when she's drained. Oh, but the rest of us. We were expected to run the apartment like a hotel staff on call. The hypocrisy started eating away at me. The double standards. The fake lectures. The constant passive-aggressive notes taped to the fridge. And so, after 6 months of swallowing my anger, I made a decision. I would get rid of both of them, not with shouting, not with arguments, but with cold, calculated revenge. And trust me, it wasn't easy. It took nearly a year, but in the end, I didn't just get rid of them. I dismantled their relationship from the inside out. Step 1, sabotage the food. Easy. Dylan and Lena were religious about their meal prep. Everything portioned out, labeled weighed. They used the same salt shaker and milk jug every day. All it took was 1 sip of spoiled milk poured into their gallon. It's not enough to smell, just enough to ruin their protein shakes. Then I added a dash of diuretics to their salt shaker. Suddenly, both of them were feeling off. Constant stomach cramps, nausea, bathroom visits every hour. Dylan blamed the gym supplements. Lena blamed stress. I just kept smiling and offering them more organic sea salt. Step 2, trigger the emotional. Powder keg. Lena was a recovering alcoholic. Respectfully, we had always kept the apartment alcohol free for her. But Dylan, he started getting annoyed. One night, I cracked open a beer near him in the kitchen. Loud pop, cold glass, subtle smile. He looked over. Man, I missed that. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Dude, just because she has a problem doesn't mean you can't have a beer." And that was the match. We had a few beers together, then a few more. And before long, Dylan started drinking again. Always when Lena was out. Always with me. Secret beers in the laundry room. Vodka shots on the balcony until Lena found out. She was devastated. Not just because he drank, but because he hid it. She relapsed that weekend, and on her way home from the bar, she fell off her bike, got scraped up, had to lie to her family about why she was bleeding and drunk. I didn't have to do anything that night. The damage was already unfolding. Step 3, twist the knife. Once cracks appeared in their relationship, I just helped them grow. I told Lena that Dylan said she was emotionally draining. Told Dylan that Lena thought he was weak. It's just enough to ignite quiet suspicion. And then I became their sounding board. They each thought they could trust me. I gave them each slightly different versions of the same stories, always tilted to make the other person look worse. Lena said, "She can't take care of you forever." Dylan said, "You're always the victim." They started fighting. At first in whispers, then in passive-aggressive door slams, then in full-blown screaming matches at 2 a.m. Step 4, the personal touch. This one was risky. I added hair removal cream. To Dylan's expensive beard oil, Lena, I put a little in her shampoo too. After a week, Dylan's beard started patching out. He looked in the mirror like he was aging in reverse, in the worst way. Lena started complaining about hair thinning. Around her temples, I pretended to be concerned. "You both okay? Look off, you feel sick?" They were confused, tired, paranoid. It was working. Final step. Let the relationship collapse. I started saying things like, "You guys ever think maybe you're just making each other worse?" I heard stress can cause hair loss and nausea. Maybe it's psychological. I don't know. Just seems like this isn't healthy anymore. One day, Lena broke down crying in the hallway, said she couldn't do this anymore, said Dylan didn't support her sobriety, said she felt like she was losing herself, and then she left. 2 days later, Dylan packed his stuff, moved back in with his parents to reset, and just like that, the dishwasher was empty, the kitchen was quiet, and peace returned to the apartment. It took almost a year in building their trust, pretending to care. Listening to their problems was exhausting, but watching them collapse under the weight of their own dysfunction, that was priceless. This wasn't just about dishes or salt or shampoo. This was about respect. And when you live with people who walk all over you, sometimes you don't need to raise your voice. You just need to pull the right strings and let the whole thing come crashing down. Mohahaha.